Why emergency savings matter more than people think. Nobody wakes up excited to build an emergency fund. There's nothing glamorous about it. No one posts, just transferred money into my boring savings account. It doesn't feel like progress. It doesn't feel like investing. It doesn't feel like leveling up. It feels cautious. And in a culture that celebrates risk, speed, and growth, caution feels small. But here's the truth nobody told us. Emergency savings isn't about money, it's about power. Most people don't struggle financially because they're irresponsible. They struggle because they are unprotected. One car repair, one medical bill, one layoff, one unexpected move, one emergency flight, and suddenly a stable life turns fragile. Not because they were reckless, but because they were exposed. We are taught to chase higher income, bigger investments, side hustles, promotions. But we're rarely taught to build a buffer. And without a buffer, every setback feels like a crisis. Let's go deeper. Emergency savings is not just financial insurance, it's emotional insurance. When something unexpected happens and you have nothing saved, you don't just lose money, you lose sleep, confidence, negotiation power, focus, stability. Stress multiplies. You make rushed decisions, you accept bad offers, you tolerate toxic environments. You say yes when you want to say no because you can't afford to say no. That's the part nobody talks about. Emergency savings gives you space, and space changes behavior. It changes how you work. Think about this. If your job suddenly became unstable tomorrow, how long could you survive without panic? 2 weeks? 1 month? 6 months? That number determines your confidence level. If you have zero cushion, every disagreement with your boss feels dangerous. Every performance review feels threatening. Every rumor about layoffs feels personal. But if you have 3 to 6 months saved, your posture changes, you negotiate differently, you speak differently, you tolerate less. Emergency savings doesn't just protect your wallet, it protects your dignity, it protects your decisions. When people don't have savings, they make survival decisions. They stay in unhealthy jobs, delay medical care, avoid necessary repairs, use high-interest debt, skip opportunities, not because they lack ambition, because they lack margin. Margin is what allows you to choose long-term benefit over short-term relief. Without savings, you live reactive. With savings, you live strategic. That's a different life. Why people avoid building it? Let's be honest. Emergency savings feels boring. It doesn't grow like investments. It doesn't give instant gratification. It doesn't impress anyone. And social media doesn't glamorize 6 months of expenses sitting quietly. But here's the irony. People obsess over investing, yet investing without a safety net is unstable. One emergency, and they liquidate investments at the worst time. One layoff, and retirement accounts get raided. Emergency savings is not anti-growth. It protects growth. Here's the shift most people miss. Emergency savings isn't about preparing for disaster. It's about reducing fear. When fear decreases, you take smarter risks, you make calmer decisions, you stop operating from panic. You're no longer thinking, what if something happens? You're thinking, if something happens, I'm covered. That is psychological stability, and psychological stability leads to better outcomes. How much is enough? People argue about the number, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. Here's the real answer. Enough that your life doesn't collapse over one event. Start small, $1,000 emergency buffer, then 1 month of expenses, then 3, then 6. Build it in layers, not overnight. Consistency beats intensity. The hidden benefit. Emergency savings gives you optionality. Optionality means you can leave, you can pivot, you can relocate, you can retrain, you can say no, you can wait for better. Most people don't lack opportunity. They lack the runway to pursue it. Savings is runway, and runway determines whether you hesitate or move forward with confidence. Here's the uncomfortable part. Many people avoid building savings because they don't want to think about instability. But instability exists whether you prepare or not. Savings doesn't create fear. It reduces vulnerability, and vulnerability is expensive. Nobody told us this. Emergency savings is not about pessimism. It's about leverage. It's about control. It's about the quiet confidence of knowing that one unexpected event will not derail your life. You don't build it for the emergency. You build it for the calm that comes with it, because financial peace isn't flashy, but it's powerful, and powerful is better. If you've been focused only on income growth, maybe it's time to focus on stability growth. Start small, build margin, protect your future self. Because the scariest thing isn't an emergency, it's being unprepared for one.